very rarely that someone that legally registers a weapon comes in and does these types of things that they're referring or are endangering us. These are very, very stupid rules. We have the right to bear arms. I mean, our Constitution is clear on this. I'm not going to waste a lot of time with that, Brandon, because I know we're running out of time here. Go ahead.
Okay. Guess who? Just to give you an update, who might be testifying against the RFID issues is Catherine Albrecht.
Oh, really?
Yes, and there was the gentleman testified saying that she wants to testify here in front of us in regards to the RFID. The Bilderberg meeting that just happened last week was brought up in front of everybody as well, and we've been talking about private prisons and how they are terrible, terrible things, and looks like the committee agrees with us as far as that goes. We've also talked a lot about the Social Security aspect. Now, I don't know if any individuals that are listening is involved with collecting Social Security, but from what we are understanding is that there are certain individuals that are being taxed on their Social Security, and they want to repeal all the taxes on Social Security. So that's another aspect that we're looking into to see if we can get it passed. So
okay, great.
I know it's kind of I'm giving y'all a bunch of information that's just scattered all about.
Well, yeah, we'll have to decipher this. I mean, basically, your resolutions committees end tomorrow, correct?
Yes, we finish tomorrow as far as the temporary. This is still the temporary platform committee, and it ends tomorrow, and then we pick up Thursday with the permanent platform committees and everything like that.
Okay, good.
So that's good. We actually had an individual that was sitting on the National Sovereignty Subcommittee that asked, "What is the CFR? I've never heard of that before." So. Well,
I hope you educated them.
Oh, she was educated, and the gentleman that educated her was a man he's a business owner that owns. He runs his business out of Mexico, and he hates NAFTA. He hates all the aspects of the CFR. He doesn't like how all three candidates are connected to the CFR, and that brought the response of, well, I've never heard of the CFR. What is this? And some of the committee members knew it was the Council on Foreign Relations, but again, some of those folks that don't even know what's going on here.
Well, it's either they don't know, Brandon, or they're just not going to readily admit it.
Yes, sir.
Take that as you will.
I understand. Now, as far as anything else that we touched on, we touched on a lot of the issues yesterday, but again, it's more details. And for those that don't know what RFID is, what I'm talking about is the Remote Frequency Identification Device. That's what it stands for, I believe. And if you have a pet, I know that they are putting these small devices in El Paso, Texas. It's mandatory, from my understanding. There was a gentleman that testified in front of the committee that said it started in El Paso, and RFID is these little microchips that they can embed into your skin, into your shoes, into your clothes. Some of them are the size of a human hair. Some of them are sized of rice, and it's a tracking device. That's what it is. So
yes, you are correct, Brandon. That is exactly what it is.
And I just wanted to explain that for those that are out there that don't know what RFID is and what some of these acronyms that we're using here, what they stand for. You know, CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, and things like that. So, how are we doing on time, Steve?
We still have about 12 minutes, so if you want to keep going, Brandon, we are all ears.
Well, actually, I would like to give you another take from another observer, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Give me one moment, and he will take over in a moment here. Indy.
No, you've actually got Dr. Steve.
Yeah, how you doing, Steve? This is Spencer.
Oh, hey, Spencer. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Why don't you give us your take?
Well, being an observer, having my older brother as a delegate and the rest of the people here that are delegates, it was interesting because I was able to bounce between subcommittee meetings. They divided up the platform committee into several subcommittees. Education and there's education, economy, preservation of American liberties, preservation of individual liberties, and sovereignty. And so I got a chance to bounce around. I spent most of my time in the individual liberties subcommittee, and but to hear the way that the subcommittees handled the resolutions, discussed the resolutions amongst themselves, was in great contrast because Brandon's subcommittee, the sovereignty subcommittee, had, I think, 7, I forget what the number was that he said, 7 or 8 committee members discussing it.
That is correct. I believe that's what he said. I think he said 7.
Yeah, but to hear, like, they would go in a very, professional manner. They would state the basis of the platform. They'd say Islam, and they would read all the resolutions concerning Islam, and they would say, national security, and they would read all the resolutions concerning that. Well, in the individual liberties subcommittee, it was interesting because, whenever we got done with them, we were trying to play catch-up with everybody, saying, well, what did this committee say? What did this committee say? And I came to find out that, like, my subcommittee, the individual liberties one, actually, there were 2 men who were, I guess, heading the subcommittee, and they didn't really read aloud most of the resolutions. I mean, they would read them to themselves, and every once in a while they would kind of speak up. But it was just interesting to hear because I think in the sovereignty subcommittee, it consisted primarily of retired military officials, from my understanding. I could be wrong, but I don't really think I am. And
well, isn't that just, absolutely perfect?
And from what I heard, it was a lot of, the really ultra-polite, well, this is my career, and this is how I know what I'm saying, and, oh, well, this was my career, so this is how I know what I'm saying, kind of instances. But to hear the contrast and the dealings with the subcommittees, because the American Liberties Subcommittee, Preservation of American Liberties, apparently took a long time. They took all day to get their stuff done. I don't even know if they got out by midnight. I'm not sure on that, but
well, Spencer, are you on one of these committees?
No, because I'm a guest of one of the delegates. I'm strictly covering this in a somewhat free press sense.
Okay, so you're there as an observer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't have a say in anything that the delegates get to testify against. I don't have a say in anything that any of the subcommittees or committees say, but I have been sitting in. I have been taking notes. I was hoping to take more recordings of it, but since that rule got passed in the very beginning, I mean, it's been so hard to document everything. And when I asked a couple of the committee members if there was a way of overturning the ruling on no recording devices, and this guy, I forget his name offhand, but he gave me some rules about something that a delegate could do to present opposition to that ruling. Well, when I went to the chair head and asked him what, the more details of what we would need to do,